Hello ladies and gentlemen, my name is Matt, but you may know me as Lazy Urchin, and today I'm going to talk about a little thing I did. I played Pokemon Emerald with the randomizer, and did a nuzlocke. First thing I want to talk about is how my mom said, "Oh, what an adorable Pokemon," but my starter was an Aerodactyl. I don't really know about that one being an adorable Pokemon, but it is what it is, you know? I'm only going to talk about one gym leader because I forgot to take notes on everyone else, and the only screeny I nabbed was during Roxanne's gym. She had a cast form. Level 15 cast form. Oh, it shouldn't be a problem. Except for like all of my team, but one was weak to ice at that point, and the cast form knew powder snow and would not stop spamming it. So that was a bit of an issue, but I defeated Roxanne, so it is what it is. I'm gonna talk about a little bit more stuff in a second here. Now this makes me incredibly angry. This stupid Foma Chop. This was the double battle before the May fight on the way to Mauville. This part really pisses me off because the guy goes, "Have you no compassion or pity?" as you beat him. Except for he killed Vegeta, my my Zangoose, who was my my first encounter I actually caught, because Aerodactyl's a bit overpowered for the beginning of the game. First encounter I ever caught, and it died to that stupid guy's Machop with no guard. I mean, I got a full odds shiny Wigglytuff, but even then, that just ain't quite it, you know? We're gonna take a quick trip through history, or rather through time, because I forgot to nab screenshots of everything else, so let's take a quick trip to the Elite Four's teams, why don't we? Here's Sydney's team from the Elite Four, or rather, Lazy Maya. I forgot to grab a picture of his Crawdon, so that's there. Phoebe's team here. Forgot to grab a screeny of the Venusaur. But it is what it is. I got Lazy Leo. I kind of feel bad for Glacia because I always forget her name, but then again, Veronica, literally Lazy Veronica, it fits her so much better. And Drake, who's Clefairy knew Meteor Mash for some reason. Lazy Mark. I was always like, how do you get the Lazy title? I want that. And then Scribe Jill. I'm gonna level with you, man. I thought this was gonna be super hard, and I thought I was gonna lose, because I'm really not that great at a lot of Pokemon games until, like, the late game. And I get super over-attached to Pokemon, and it's like, oh, I don't want them to die. This junk was so easy. I had 7 deaths over the entirety of Pokemon Emerald. I don't know if it was just a thing with the randomizer. Like, I kept finding a bunch of wild legendaries, usually after I'd gotten my encounter for that area. I don't think I ever saw a legendary on someone else's team, though. This was stupid easy, and I'm mad at how easy it was, because I actually wanted a Nuzlocke to be a challenge. Then again, this is the guy who's lost a Nuzlocke of Pokemon Shield before. One of the easiest Pokemon games, so I'm glad it was easy, but dude, it was stupid easy. Now, where was I? Oh yeah, Scribe Jill's team. When the champion battle starts off with an Anorith and then goes to Caterpie, it's gonna be pretty bad. And when the third Pokemon is Cubone and your Lickitung knows Surf, it's like, man, this is... why are you the champion? Like, why, bro? Like, your 4th Pokemon's Ivysaur, and then your 5th is Bulbasaur. Like, what was the point of that? Like, dude, why? Why were you the champion? I bet my 5-year-old cousin who's never played Pokemon could beat your game. I bet if I rigged up a freaking dog with buttons it could press to do things, it could beat you. After that shameful champion and beating it, and my team getting into the Hall of Fame, look at these goofballs. Bet you didn't expect a Lickitung to beat the champion, but here we are, you know? After beating the game, I had one last thing to do. And yes, there was a lot of Pokemon left in that box because, as I said earlier, I only had 7 deaths. Now we're going to take a brief walk down these 7 deaths. The first is, of course, unfortunately, my starter. He wasn't the first to die, but then there's Gliscor. Well, then there's Gliscor. Gligar. My brain doesn't work anymore. And Grovyle. And finally, my boy Vegeta. The ye old Zangoose, who was the first to die, unfortunately. For those 4, when they died, I played Danny Boy, which is just it's such a lovely song. I can link a version of it in the description, probably. I'll probably link that in this description. I won't use it in the video, but I'll link it so you can hear the version I played for those 4. But yeah, moving on. The Death Fodder. These 2, Parasect and Altaria. I do feel kind of bad about Parasect. I don't feel any amount of shame or sorrow for Altaria. The Parasect, I was trying to get it to level up a bit more, and I was using it, and it used Spore, and it missed, and the enemy hit it once, and it brought it down to the red, and I was like, okay, I know I can't win if I don't Spore it, but if it misses, the Parasect will die. And I hit it with the Spore, and it was fine, and I took a turn to heal up the Parasect without switching it out, which was my mistake, and it woke up the next turn and crit hit one-shot the Parasect, and I was like, ah. Then the Altaria I just used as a heal stall. Like, literally, I just used it to stall out the PP of the enemy, so it is what it is, you know? And the final goober to die, my boy, my main man, my carrier of the run, the one who goes over the oceans, my Lickitung, Goobzilla. He may not have been all that big, but he certainly had a monster-sized impact on the team. There were a couple of times when I thought he was gonna die, and then he'd survive on, like, anywhere from 1 to, like, 10 HP, and that was it. But I often joked with people on Discord that it wasn't his time yet, and the other 4 were watching him. The main 4 were watching him from up there, but I'm glad that he survived as long as he did. I didn't think he would. Like, I know some people probably wouldn't. If I had done this, like, live, most people wouldn't have thought he would, but he did, and that surprised even me. But yeah, I don't think I could have done it without him on my team, honestly. I was debating changing up my team for the champion, and I asked a couple of people for help on Discord, but my only requirement was that he stayed, because he was permanently on the team. There's a funny story about that, actually. You know how in Emerald you gotta go to the Sky Pillar and awake Rayquaza, right? I got up there, and in the last room before I got to the top where Rayquaza is, one of the encounters poisoned him with a poison sting. It's like something that was a speed tie, and it uses like poison sting or whatever, and it poisons him because I couldn't run the first time, and then I tried to run the second time after he had been poisoned, and it was like, yeah, you can go now. And literally, I used 25 rare candies on him just so that he wouldn't die from poison long enough to get to Pacifilog Town, which is why he was level 75 and everyone else on my team was like level 65 for that champion fight. But yeah, he got us to the champion, and then then his time was up. But yeah. I think Goobzilla, more so than that lizard, the Aerodactyl, will go down into the books as truly a legend, along with Sir Jasper and Sir Johnson. But it is what it is, you know? That's kind of all I got to say for today, so see y'all later and be good people.